Super Sunday Premier League game between Arsenal and Chelsea, the London rivals, is going to be an explosive one, especially when Chelsea are players to be flying high. Well, who wouldn't expect Chelsea fans to start bragging and showing off? We are champions of the world. Currently, they are flying high and they are sitting second position in the EPL. Anyway, after disseminating Barcelona, every Chelsea fan believes that, look, anything that comes, we're going to take them to the cleaner. And on this edition of Arsenal Fans Beat, brought to you by Arsenal Fans Globally, I have with me a super gunner. Suma, how you doing?
I'm pretty okay.
So what are your expectations towards this match? Arsenal have played against Chelsea and won 84 times, with Chelsea defeating Arsenal 66 times. But somehow when you see the way the Chelsea fans, the banter, they just think, somebody will just think that they have this overwhelming supremacy over Arsenal. And both sides have said 61 draws. So how are you focusing on this game? Because this is a make or mark game for us going forward if we need to continue to maintain our leadership on the summit.
Basically, I think it's going to be a very good game, knowing the fact that both teams are on a good run, so it's going to be a good game. It's currently the first and currently the best team and the second best team in the Premier League.
Yeah.
Because we're leading the EPL currently, and Chelsea are second in the EPL. So they've had some good games. They had a good game against Barcelona, during the Champions League, and even the previous Premier League match was really superb. So,
and especially when they took that victory over Liverpool.
Yeah. So pretty much, I think they're a very good one, and it's a good one anyway. It's a good one. They are a very good one.
Okay, looking at the way the EPL is a competition that is unpredictable. The unpredictability of the EPL comes from where you see the PGMOL are doing theirs, and a lot of decision making either is going for you or is going against you. And you also see that this is a league where you cannot write off those teams that are beneath the table. Who would have ever thought that a struggling Nottingham Forest can go to Anfield, the glorified Anfield, and nullify the noise and douse them by 3 goals to nothing? So it is the way the EPL is. So going forward into this game, where do you think the battle is going to be won and lost? Considering the fact that both sides, they've got formidable midfielders. If you look at the trio of Bericese, Martin Odegaard, or Declan Rice and Zubimendi, and you look at Chelsea's Enzo, Caicedo, and the likes of them, so you start wondering where is the game going to be won?
Basically, just like I said earlier on, it's going to be a very strong match. Let us talk about the dynamics of the Premier League. It's one of the reasons it is called the most competitive league in the world. Club league in the world.
Yeah.
Because anything is possible to happen at any time. Considering the fact that struggling, like you rightly said, struggling in Nottingham Forest went to the almighty, most glorious Anfield.
These guys will come after you.
Honestly, they gave them a run for their money. It was really a very good game. They took control of the game. Possession-wise, they had everything in their possession. With them, and these guys were trashed to nothing. And mind you, there were no injury concern for Liverpool. All the players that were supposed to play, were in the match. And Nottingham Forest took it very personal, and they were very, 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 out of a situation. So that's, like we rightly said, that's the dynamics of the Premier League. Anything is possible to happen at any time, regardless of who you are, what ground you're playing in, and that has been one of the big thing about Arsenal lately. Arsenal, we have a signature ring. When you are at the Emirates, you're there for something really good. we like for the Champions League. I think since 2023 when we got back to the Champions League, I think we've not conceded a goal in group stage in Emirates Stadium. You know, and we've won a lot of matches in Emirates Stadiums, rather. You know, so pretty much I think coming into the London derby, you know, for Arsenal we were very composed. Very composed. You have the squad depth. You have the commitment with the boys. The boys are very committed. It's like a unit, a family. You know, you see them. You know, when we're on the ball. You know, when we're off the ball, you see their warnings, their tracking back. You know, the support. You know, and everything. So currently, Arsenal has something that other teams lack. Sorry, we have something that other teams are praying to get. You know, that's the commitment and the unity among the players. You know, I think I watched one of Mikel Arteta's interviews, I think a couple of days ago, when the person was asking him about the people he talks to when he has difficult time, whether he talks to Arsene Wenger or Pep Guardiola or David Moyes, because those are where the coaches in named as his inspiration for him to go into coaching, you know. But he said yes, he talks to them on a regular, but when he has problem, he talks to his boys and his staff, you know. So that is to say, it's a unit, it's a family thing. They all come together, elaborate, talk about things that are affecting them, you know, and try to make amends. And you can truly see that in the last game against Tottenham. You know, when before the game against Tottenham, we had a very, you know, it was filled with mixed feelings when we played with Sunderland. You know, the guys were determined, especially a team where that has some ex-Arsenal players. You know, they wanted to come and impress. So you see, they were very determined. You know, and even they had to play mind games. If you observe, I think the advertising board was pushed. Yes, it was pushed close to the pitch. You know, to avoid our long throws and all of that. You know, so the guys were prepared. So I think when they got back, you know, before the international break, I think they had to go to the round table, have a conversation with regards to what happened, you know, and what the mistakes were, where they need to work on, you know, all of that. And when they came back from the international break, they came to high speed, from what Mikel Arteta said. So when they came composed, came at a high speed, and they came to make amends for the mistake they made, and from some of the mistakes they made against Sunderland. And so you saw in the derby that it was, it's the best game I've seen so far in the Emirates.
So far.
You know.
I think all round the season, that's the best game we've played.
Yeah.
And we going forward now, this game against Chelsea is going to be played at Stamford Bridge. And although in the last couple of years we've gone to Stamford Bridge, I think it was the only last season where we only just got a draw, and they had to come back to equalize with that Mentos equalizer. Going to Stamford Bridge and with both teams looking at consolidating their position in the league table, I still want to know where you think Arsenal can hurt Chelsea, or where you think Chelsea can take the shine off Arsenal. Because whether you like it or not, both sides have got their weaknesses and strengths.
Definitely. First of all, Chelsea are on the advantage playing in their home, you know, and considering the fact that they've been, you know, on some winning strikes. So first of all, it's a big motivation for the players and the fan base. You know, like when we mentioned of the previous match with Barcelona, which people were predicting to be a very tough one for them. You know, but it was really an easy game for them in Stamford Bridge, you know, on Tuesday and all of that. So their weakness is their defense and the dynamism in which Arsenal attack. You know, it's mind blowing. The way the setup of Arsenal's attack you cannot predict it. You know, I want to use Tottenham's game as a reference. Initially, when we play Miguel Merino as a number 9, we want to do the blocks and try to do the blocks and find spaces for the left and the right wing forward. You know, but if you observed in Tottenham's game, it was different dynamics. He was playing as a joker, but was coming deep.
Was dropping
deep, and creating the space for
and pulling out the
defenders and creating space for Eze. You know, so that is why if you watch at all the angles, all the goals that we scored, you find out that he was in the middle of the back.
So it's either Eze or Trossard
or Eze, Trossard, or Saka or Declan Rice. You know, so basically, I think, and for the past this season rather, I think Chelsea has been struggling a lot. You know, I think they've been conceding a lot of goals. You know, and those goals were coming from defensive mistakes, whether it's from the goalkeeper, whether from the right back, the centre backs, or the left. I think the left back has been outstanding. Yes, he's been so outstanding.
Yeah.
I think he's been the best person in that defense. He's been outstanding, performing at a very high level, week in, week out. You know, but the problem is the defense. And the other thing again is the consistency in the midfield. They have a very good midfield, very good midfield players and all that, but at the same time, sometimes it's the midfield can be determined by the opponent. You know, like you rightly said, playing with Arsenal, having Zubimendi in their pack, and Declan Rice, Odegaard, and Eze is going to be it's a very different setup altogether compared to the Barcelona midfield and the other midfield. You know, and firstly, Arsenal's game is to play with everything. We want the ball. You know, Arsenal want to be in control of everything. We want to score goals. We want to be in possession of the ball. You know, so even somebody was telling me a couple of days ago that when Arsenal played, Arsenal dominates everything.
Everything.
Set piece. And throwing. You know, we go physical. We want to be in control.
Yeah, in the time past when they used to call us crybabies, they were jelly. Yeah. No, it's no longer like that. You see. Okay, now, do you think Arsenal going into this game against the London rivals should continue with the trajectory of Hincapi and Saliba in the middle of the park?
Definitely yes. You know, like we rightly said, when the only difference that I would say, Gabriel has been our best defender. You know, and the only difference that I would say with Gabriel and Hincapi is the fact that Gabriel, the set piece, you know, he's been exceptional on set piece. But on defensive wise and all of that, I think Hincapi, he got to the tax. You know, he's a very young defender with a lot of experience. He's been a winner. He won the Bundesliga with the Bayern. And he was, I think, a couple seasons ago, season after last, I think. You know, he was exceptional. You know, and I think he's one of the best defenders in Leverkusen during that time. And he's a South American model now.
And he's also the captain of his country.
Ecuador, right? And you know, those people coming from that part of the world.
They know how to play this street-like football.
Yes, they are so. I don't think that I think they're in their own space when it comes to being brutal, you know, being hard, being rough, you know. So you saw all of that with Alisson. You know, he's not a striker that will give you the goals.
He's an erratic, aggressive.
He's very, you know, all of those, you know. But you saw his performance against him. He was very rough with them, you know. He was in control, you know. And one of the things to his game that is not in Gabriel's game, no disrespect to Gabriel because he's our best defender and currently one of the best in the world, is his crossing ability and his how comfortable he is on the ball. Yes. He's good on the ball. He reads the game. Can play with good feet.
And he also knows how to win the ball off field.
Yes.
You know, he doesn't allow you to bring the ball to him. No. He's follow. Because I saw him. Kudos. He was like bumper to bumper.
No space for you to
kudos. Yes. So it was difficult for him to actually do anything. Okay, now let's come to the point where you're going to be selecting your first 11 for this game against Chelsea. You're going to be our Mikel Arteta. Let's see what your first 11. If at the end of the day, Mikel Arteta chooses the same first 11, let's see how you want to decimate Chelsea on that day. So give us your first 11.
Well, I don't think I don't know whether your players will be available for the North London derby at Stamford Bridge. If he's going to be, if he's going to be available, I think he's the only change that I want to see in the game. Playing Gyökeres at as a number 9 and starting Median Merino on the bench. So it's gonna be David Raya, Timber, Gabriel Saliba, Ikape, Calafiori, Zubimendi, Declan Rice, and Eberechi Eze. On the left we have Trossard, and on the right we have Bukayo Saka. So even if Odegaard is coming back, he will start on the bench, and they will come and and do the final touching and polishing.
I like that. Final touching and polishing. Okay, now your scoreline prediction for the game.
Yeah, it's gonna be a tough one. So I think it would be like a 2-0 win for Arsenal.
Okay, guys, you've heard Suma's team selection. Okay, I want to go with. If you ask me, I want to go with the same team that we played against Tottenham, and especially because Gyökeres, it would have been nice for him to get started on my part, but because I feel he's a player, he didn't actually, nurse a thigh injury, but it was a muscle thing, and they decided to manage it so that it doesn't, get to a point where he will be out for months. So I still think this game, let Merino continue the cameo work, and possibly you bring in Gyökeres in the second half. For me, that's the only thing.
Depending if he's available.
If he's available.
For selection.
Yes. I think he's available. It's just because we saw Odegaard is back, Jesus is back, but they're just thinking that Madueke is back, and Martinelli, we saw him on the bench against Tottenham. So I think most of these guys are back, but I think Arsenal have learned their lessons from the time past. Now they're no longer rushing players back as before.
No, because we have the squad depth now. So if it were before, when we only have the first 11, I think at this point in time you have to see Martinelli playing.
Exactly, Odegaard playing
and all that. But at this point in time, you have to give them time. And I think we'll be having a closed door friendly to Manchester United at Carrington. I don't know whether it's Carrington or I think it's in, I don't know whether it's in Carrington or in the Arsenal.
Yeah, so we'll just use those guys in the fringes.
Yeah, so they want to use it as an opportunity for the players that have been out for a very long time to get some minutes, competitive minutes, and see how they can bring them back to the mix. And I think it's a very good one.
That's a good one. That's a good one.
Yeah.
So my scoreline prediction for this game, I'm going 2-0 Arsenal. 2-0 Arsenal? No, let me change it. I think Arsenal will concede. With the way.
Yeah, I was really thinking about.
So 2-1 Arsenal. This is the game where we're going to score first.
It's going to be
because we're playing against them in front of their home fans. They want to do everything possible.
And especially like we previously said, and especially after they've had these ones, they've had a very good one playing against the almighty Barcelona and the mouthy Yamal. That's his name.
Yes.
That's crazy guy.
They were taught a football lesson.
Yeah.
So I'm predicting 2-1. Suma said 2-0. So let's know what your views are. Go to the comment section. Let us know if you agree with me, or you agree with Suma, or you agree with us, or you disagree with us. Suma, I don't know if you have one last word to say to the fans before we round off on this edition of the show.
My last word is it's gonna be UT Arsenal. You said something that I think I want to probably give an addendum to when you talked about Arsenal have learned their lesson, and I'm pretty sure it's a lesson that no one you need to be told to learn that lesson. We've been humiliated, we've been called names, butlers. I think I saw some videos on TikTok, those Nigerian skit makers. A guy went to buy one beer in Nigeria called Trophy, and he was with an Arsenal jersey. So when he went there, and he asked the guy, say, "Hey, my brother," I said, "I want beer." Say, "What kind of beer do you have?" Say, "I have all kind of beer." I said, "Okay, man, I want Trophy." He's like, "Trophy for you and Arsenal." So he's been humiliating, seeing those videos on Arsenal. It's funny, but sometimes you feel bad, mediocrity and all that. But I think Miguel Arteta and the boys will be seeing all those things, and they need to work on them. So
we have to take it on the chin.
Yeah.
You know, even United guys, that's what they tell us. The next thing they start telling us history.
Yeah. You remember when we were watching Tottenham, Arsenal Tottenham.
Yeah.
When the guys were like, Tottenham's gonna win this game. When Tottenham win this game and Chelsea go and defeat Arsenal, then they'll be at par.
They'll be at par.
Yeah, and Chelsea's gonna win the league. Those Manchester United guys. And unfortunately, when we scored the 2 goals and when we scored the 3 goals, and later on they had 1 goal, the guy was shouting, good one, this is the goal that we wanted. I said, no, we wanted us to lose. You know, they wanted to change the trajectory as if that's, you know, it's crazy.
That's really, yeah. And unfortunately for them, Everton dealt with them. Anyways, let's leave the United people.
Wait, you know, sometimes you don't have to talk about people you're not in the same
Somebody, I'm going to come for your head. Yeah. Anyways, this is how it's been on this edition of Arsenal Fans being brought to you by Arsenal Fans Globally. Join us, follow us, and make your comments count. Until we come your way again, it is come on, you Gunners!